All right, Nate, let your rage fuel your success.
Yes.
So this week we got a chance to play a lot of Rage 2, which was a good time for me. I'll just say it right off the bat. I played a lot of Rage 1, and that game was so undervalued at the time. I feel bad for the developers because they had a gem that nobody really realized. And other games kind of came out in the same window, kind of overshadowed it, and it didn't get the chance it deserved. So now I'm glad we're back here with Rage 2.
For me, I actually never played Rage. See? Perfect example, because it was just overshadowed by all these games. But and when I first heard about Rage 2 coming out, I was kind of thrown off a little bit. I was like, Rage 2, do people actually want this? Was the first one any good?
Yeah, how do you get a sequel out of a game that wasn't really that big? That's what I'm
Exactly, but then I saw just one trailer, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay, this is something I could get into.
Oh, yeah.
And now after playing it for
hours,
like a lot of hours, I friggin' love this game, man.
Oh, I'm so deep into it now because I'm going across the whole map. The map is giant. As it was in the first game, the map is very big in the second one. And they do a little bit better at giving you some direction right off the start to get you kind of out there. And then once you're out there, there's things like arcs and weapons and stuff that you're trying to find.
Encampments, there's all sorts of stuff. That map is filled
everywhere. So you're cutting down bandits, and that kind of serves as the progression tree in a way. So I like this game. One of my favorite things about it is that they prioritize the exploring because you need to explore to find perks, points, experience. There's a lot of different
weapons and
yeah, there's a lot of different items that you need to progress through. And it gets a little muddy at the start because you're not sure what you spend on what, but several hours into that game, it's very clear. You have these feltrite crystals that you're shooting. You're getting them from people. You're breaking things open. It just kind of serves as the regular experience. Then you use that to buy tiers. You have to put a special item for whatever you're upgrading into that slot. So it gets a little complicated there, but it's not so bad. There's items for armor. There's items for weapons. There's items for vehicles. And then you're kind of just buying everything else with experience to get your points in there.
Yeah, it sounds convoluted, but really, it's really not too bad. Once you've kind of just sift through it just a bit, it's like, okay, I just need to find out these parts. Or this thing.
Or I have to meet this guy and open up this tree. So there's several different ways that I like how they did it. They have people that you need to speak to, and they give you your suit upgrades, your kind of combat-oriented things. And then you have weapons that you find in the arcs, and you have to upgrade them too. And then you have vehicles you have to upgrade. So there's a lot of upgrading, but it's just as complicated as it needs to be to have all of these components into it. It doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like you have nothing to do.
It doesn't feel overwhelming.
Not exactly, no, because
if you want to upgrade everything, it's like, okay, I'm going to be grinding for a while.
It's going to take some time.
But that's kind of fair. It's like you got to pick and choose the few things or few guns or few vehicles or whichever that you want to focus on, right?
Yeah, for me it was the assault rifle. I just buffed that thing way up.
Yes.
And I just took it to town.
Let's talk about the guns, okay? The guns in this game are absolutely awesome. One of the cool things that they did, I pre-ordered the game and I got the biggest edition, and one of my favorite things with it, with the deluxe edition, you get the BFG from Doom in it, which I thought was great. So
that's cool.
They actually added it in the game as part of the lore, because as soon as you leave the town, a big meteorite strikes to the ground, and then there's the BFG.
Yeah, that works.
Exactly. So it was just that little thing for me, because I'm a huge Doom fan. I was just like, okay, this is perfect. In this game it works because
it feels a lot like Doom. So its id development team is in there, and they're kind of hidden. You wouldn't know that just by looking at it, but you can feel it in the game.
Yes.
So you're playing, and it feels like a new Doom, kind of
in a Far Cry.
Yeah, with Far Cry.
That's how I look at it. It's like a Far Cry Doom kind of hybrid, and it's honestly perfect.
Well, going back to the weapons, you take out a shotgun and you're in a small room. You're just cleaning house. It feels just like Doom. And then you're executing people. You're throwing your power attacks in. That's another thing that you have. You have these abilities that you're always progressing through.
Dashing and double jump.
Closing these bigger gaps to get to the enemies in the more wide open wasteland kind of setting. The combat is just really fast, though. That's how they kept the combat fast despite the space.
So we're both playing on hard.
Yes, that's worth noting too. It's
yes, we didn't play on Nightmare, I know, but that's something I will be visiting, I think, after I beat the game.
Absolutely,
kind of like
Doom. and it's not going to feel so bad once we grind up to that point, because the grind is just exploring the game. We'll be more familiar with it. We'll know what points and guns we want to prioritize right off the start. This definitely has some replay value to it, even though it's just a giant
huge
map.
game.
Yeah, but
there's not like flags or feathers you need to go and collect throughout the map. It's just like you go to one area and then you just kill everything, and then you have to collect the storage containers, or sometimes there's these arc chests, they're called, or data pads. There's lots of lore in the game.
So that's the only kind of collectible thing, and these are all optionals. The data pads is really the most kind of collectible item.
Yeah,
and that gives you story. And I'm really liking the story in this one. It's not the most crazy complex story.
No, but it starts off strong, and I really liked it.
It does start off really strong. Yeah, that character selection screen is great.
Yeah.
And then from that moment on, I love my character. He is really cool.
The voice actor did a good job. He's just like solid voice.
Voice acting in games, I like this. So we're not a silent protagonist like Doom. So we have a little bit more personality. Some of the Rangers you meet right off the start, they're funny, they're cracking jokes and stuff. You're making jokes with them. It's a lighthearted kind of apocalypse feeling.
Yeah, like there's definitely a sense of humor to it, but like it's very kind of violent, and it's just like,
oh yeah.
It's like, oh, this person, they're really cool. It's like, and they're dead. Oh.
Just right away. Yeah, no, they're not shy in this game.
So aside from the combat, the vehicles play a really big role in this game. And kind of like we mentioned earlier, there are a ton of vehicles. And what I thought was kind of a bit of a hindrance on the game is one of the ways you can obtain these vehicles is if you just go out and grab it or steal it, you have to go bring it back to the very beginning area of the map, which the map is big, so it can take
quite a while.
Yeah, and you can't fast travel with it. I tried that.
No, you'll leave it behind. The only vehicle you can fast travel with is your
current vehicle. Yeah.
Which means if you bring it back, you can now fast travel with that new vehicle. All the vehicles are really different too, which is kind of cool. There's like these motorcycles that are really hard to drive, and then there's your vehicle is really fast. It's got the strong boost.
Yeah, like the starting vehicle, the Phoenix, is actually really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Batmobile a little bit, like a Batmobile light, you know?
And it gets heavy too. You can upgrade your vehicle. You can put new cannons and guns on it and stuff to make it even beefier. Because one of the things you find in the Wasteland are these really cool convoys. Think of Mad Max with the big truck and the guy with the guitar on the front of it. It's kind of like that, except a little bit more violent, because everybody's just, they're laying waste to the wasteland as they're driving by. There's factions that are infighting, so you come across that quite a lot.
All the time, man. You'll just be even clearing an area or just kind of searching, and then all of a sudden you hear explosions in the background.
And it's just another
There's a huge war happening.
Yeah. I strategically sat down and took a couple minutes to get to the next room when that happens, but it's really cool to see the enemies fight with each other or to help each other out. The AI is definitely better than the first Rage by leagues, because if you're in one of these convoys trying to follow them and shoot them down, they're just throwing everything they can at you. They have electrical traps. They have turrets that come out of their trucks to shoot at you. They'll start crisscrossing and leaving electrical tethers between each other. Like, it's just really cool teamwork kind of things that you don't see a lot. And it made the convoys very unique to fight and very rewarding. Now, I didn't have a lot of ammo later on. I kind of started running out of it because I was just liberally throwing my bullets everywhere.
Oh, no.
So I ran into a convoy, and it gave me so much trouble, I had to come back to it. I had to chase it. I chased it for a long time around the map, and then I let it go. I had to just separate.
So with the ammo, you have to go and buy ammo, and there are a few different settlements throughout the map.
You can tell they spent a lot of time in the cities to kind of prop them up. Each city is very unique. There's a couple different locations you can fast travel to. I guess that's what I mean by a city, because that's where all the NPCs are that aren't going to shoot you. And there's a lot of interpersonal stories. So you can talk to all these people.
Almost every single person, it feels like, you can pretty much have a conversation with at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually pretty, like, usually interesting or funny or ridiculous.
Yeah, these characters are really strange, and that's what makes you laugh. It's a really good time that way. I like how they fleshed out the communities and stuff. That was what Rage 1 was very known for, was their time spent in the city building, and they kind of cut corners in other places, I feel. In this game, they nailed the city building, and then they didn't cut any corners. They kept going with the game. It has that quality the whole way through, and it doesn't feel empty at all like the first one kind of did.
No, not at all, man. And this game is friggin' wicked, man.
It's hard to not get excited about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really cool things in this game. One thing I want to mention specifically, when you're a death machine and you're just cleaning house, the music will pick up and continue with you. And it's very Doom-esque, where you just let loose. You hit rage mode, which is a power that just lets you keep shooting. Yeah, overdrive. Should have called it rage mode, I think.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, overdrive, whatever. You just crushed everyone in your path, and then the music just keeps chugging, and it's this heavy stuff. And it just brought me back to Doom, and
oh man, yes, the soundtrack, they nailed it with this one, man.
Not just the music, explosions and everything, the guns.
Oh yeah,
the vehicles, all the engines and stuff. Like, they spent a lot of time in the details of this game.
Oh man, not only the sound of the explosions and everything, but the looks. This game is beautiful, man. I really like the art style that they chose with it.
Yeah, it's a pseudo-realism, but it's close enough to realistic that I have a 4K and I'm on 1X, and it looks beautiful.
Oh,
I can see all the textures. Everything's so gorgeous. So there's a lot of aspects to this game, but if we're gonna wrap it up and put a big number on it, what are you thinking, Nate?
Well, man, I've spent a lot of hours playing this, and I'm going to definitely continue to do so. So, honestly, man, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I really like this game.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, and I have to agree with you. I'm right up there with a 9.5. It's got everything I wanted in it.
Rage 2 is an awesome action game, an intense shooter that does a lot of things right, and a great sequel. We really enjoyed this one.
You're good to go.
So swiftly, too. You surely are proudly successful.